Yes, we are in live now. I just shared the link with you guys, and then you so that you can share as well. Uh,
Oh,
just okay. Here we go. Assalamu alaikum to everyone. It's very late in the night, already 11:30. But thank you for joining us here in Chelsea FC Bangladesh Official Supporters Club, our live program for before the match tomorrow. So we have a very special guest today. We have Jonathan Mann from UK. Thank you, Jonathan, for joining us tonight, and
No problem at all.
thank you for giving your valuable time today. And we have, as usual, our two co-admin, Nafis and Shukanto Shahabapon. So thank you guys for joining so late in the night. We'll be discussing about what actually we did under the Frank Lampard in the first few matches and also in the Carabao Cup. And we also mostly be going to round about the transfer going out this time, because we already discussed transfer in last few episodes. So we'll be discussing with Man and how Chelsea is going to end up with the transfer window and all. So thank you for joining us, and let's start our show tonight. First of all, I just asked Jonathan. Thank you very much for taking your time again, and it's been pleasure to welcome you in our show. So
No, I'm
how
really,
you
really
see,
appreciate you having
Jonathan,
me
this
on.
season? We
Thank you.
play. Thank you so much, buddy. How are you seeing this Chelsea doing this first four match and the Carabao Cup? What is actually you see? What the good thing you see till now?
I think we look a little bit stronger defensively. I think we've got a little bit more cohesion, but we're still not quite there in the attacking sense.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've got some great players. Obviously, not all of them are fit, but we're still not quite there in the attacking sense. We're not scoring enough goals, and obviously, especially you look at the West Brom games, the Liverpool game, Brighton game, we're still conceding goals. So there's signs of positivity. I can see Lampard's got something to build on, but he's got quite a lot to do, in my opinion, if we're going to have a successful season.
I see. Do you see Chelsea losing at Spurs? I mean, we had the match control for 80 minutes. I think mostly. Yes, the second half, Spurs was a lot more aggressive in the second half. They have the much of the ball. But did you see this was coming, because we made a change, like Ben Chilwell, we has to take him because he was not fit to play the 90 minutes. But we had Emerson coming in, and that as people are saying that is some kind of mistakes that led to the Lamela goal. Do you see that we're losing that match? Because lots of Chelsea fans were very confident because the Spurs had put a team that was not their first team.
Yeah, I mean, they set up very defensively. The first half, Chelsea controlled it. We looked really good, but we didn't get a second goal. And when you 1-0 up in them sort of ties, and you know that it goes to penalties if it's 1-1 or if you're drawing, it's always dangerous. And the fact that we didn't get a second goal, the fact that we didn't go for the kill, was worrying, to be honest. But yeah, second half they came out, and Mourinho, he loves that cup. He loves to win it. He doesn't like losing, so he was always going to come out and attack us. And yeah, the Ben Chilwell one I get because he wasn't fully fit. But yeah, Emerson and Alonso are known for losing their men and not marking, and that's the reason we conceded the goal, because of poor marking. So I think Lampard's got to take some sort of. He's got to take responsibility for, I think, the West Brom game, I think for the Liverpool game, and certainly for the Tottenham game. He's got to take responsibility for the personnel that he's picked, because Alonso and Emerson, are just not good enough. So we really need Chilwell to be back fit, and hopefully he can play 90 minutes against Palace tomorrow. Or today, I think, your time.
Yeah. Now we are still in the PM, so not still in the AM.
Okay.
I just asking you, like what will be our best defensive lineup to you? I mean, who you see pairing up for the centre back?
In my opinion, if we go across the back five, so in goal, we all know that Mendy, he has to be the starting keeper. Kepa, Caballero, not good enough. So I think in goal, we know it's Mendy. Left back, we know it's Chilwell because we can't trust Alonso defensively. Emerson has still got problems. I think he's probably the backup to Chilwell now, Emerson, but Chilwell's your number one. We've got to go with him when fit. On the right, I think Reece James, because of his attacking, because of his pace. I think Azpilicueta can certainly do a job at right back because he's good defensively. But the two partners I want to see at centre back are Thiago Silva and probably Zuma. To be fair, Zuma is strong. When the ball comes in the box, he deals with it. Christensen is too inconsistent. Tomori, I like, but I think he needs a strong partner next to him. And Thiago Silva is the leader. He's the best defender. Obviously, he's on the wrong side of 30 now, so he does need to. He can't play every game. He does need to be managed. But yeah, I think it's Silva and Zuma for me that would be the two that we go for in the big games.
Great. Do you see that French-speaking guys taking control on the backline? I mean, Mendy can speak French. Azpilicueta was in the French league as well. Thiago Silva can speak French, and also the new guy. I mean, he's also can speak the French. So, do you think the communication will be much better this time?
Yeah, I think obviously Zuma's good in English. Mendy, I think he's getting there. Silva is fluent in French, but I think he's learning English. So yeah, I think the French does help, that little contingency between Mendy, Zuma, and Silva. But I think they're all, especially Silva, trying to learn English to communicate, because it's great having a leader on the pitch, but you do need to be able to communicate. So yeah, I think that little French contingent is nice. But yeah, I think we've just got to, in the big games, go with our strongest five. We know it's Chilwell, we know it's Mendy, and probably James and Thiago Silva. So I think the other centre-back role, Zuma, is probably the only one that people would disagree on. And they might say Tomori or Christensen, but I think it's Zuma and Silva for me. And we've got to, in the big games, we've got to play our best teams. And that Tottenham game, yeah, the Chilwell substitution looked okay at the time because of fitness, but it wasn't the right one, clearly.
Nafis, there are some sound coming from it. Sound assist. I just going back to Bapon in this case. What is the settled backline do you see for the long time onwards? I mean, yes, there's international break after this game. I mean, do you see we have a settled backline onwards?
Actually, Adnan Bhai, what I think that Lampard, in previous season, he was trying to build a team, and we can say that still in this season, he's still trying to build a team. We are still stuck with our previous backline, which we had in last season, and addition is actually Silva and that the left back and Chilwell. So we are happy that we got Chilwell. I guess our left back problem will be solved, but let's see. But I guess it will be solved. But I guess I will prefer to play Zuma. Zuma actually never the same as he used to be before the injury. Actually, before the injury, but he's improving since last season. Actually, so I would love to see that Zuma will pair up the Silva is absent. Then I will want to see him with the Christensen. Then the right back, I maybe James. James actually the inconsistent. He sometimes he plays like that he's the best right back, but sometimes he's actually plays like he's standing still. He's doing nothing actually, defensively or attackingly. But he sometimes he delivers very good crosses and delivers the ball to the striker. So maybe right back. Azpilicueta also had some. Had some. Some bad moments in last season. He's also inconsistent in sense of the form, but that position is still we need to sort out either with long term for James or Azpilicueta.
Okay, I see. I just going back to our guest John here, because about the how the Frank Lampard. Do you see the lack of? Too much of rotation is another problem for the stability in the defense as well. I just read a stat yesterday that he changed 56 times out of 65 match in the last season. So do you? I think it's very crazy. I mean, you cannot change. I mean, so many times. Even this season, in each and every of the match, we have a different backline. So how do you see? I mean, definitely Frank Lampard is a huge player. I mean, when he was played in our club, and also he was managing Derby before Chelsea. So do you see what's the reason behind that? I mean, yes, he is definitely still struggling to find his best defensive lineup, but he has to find a stable one now.
100%, he needs to find a stable one. I think last season he wasn't really sure on who his best defenders were. Rudiger came back in and we expected an upturn in form, but he just hasn't cut it. Now we've got a goalkeeper that we can all be confident in. I think the Tottenham game, every Chelsea fan, when the ball goes in the box, we know that he's going to come and claim it, he's going to punch it, he's going to save it. Whereas with Kepa and Caballero, we were not really so sure. So the fact that we've got a goalkeeper that the defenders can trust, I think that's a positive. But yeah, until Silva came in, he wasn't really sure on his lineup. When Silva's fully fit, I think Silva and then one other. And as I say, you've got to choose who it is. I think it will be Zuma. Once he knows that that's the best pairing to go for, once everyone's match fit, once we've played a few more games, I think Lampard has to settle on a sort of a three, the two centre-backs and goalkeeper to play consistently in order to communicate, in order to know how each other play. And yeah, as you say, stability. I get the attacking, part of the pitch. It's not a problem if you want to rotate. It's not so much of an issue, but communication is massive when you're playing at centre back and goalkeeper. So you have to build that trust and that consistency. So yeah, for me, he's got to settle on a back line.
Yeah, John, I got some interesting info that I know and some of our know, but somebody in UK, Lubab, he's also our mate. He knows that you are married to a Chittagongian. So he just pointed out that John, you don't know he's married to a Chatgaya. Chatgaya is we call the Chittagongian actually. Okay. Your
I
wife will
think I
be
think
much
that's one of
closer.
my I think that's one of my wife's relatives as well, or friends or something. So to be honest, yes, married a girl from Chittagong 5 years ago. So I have been to Bangladesh twice, which is why when you asked me on, I really wanted to come on because I really do love the country. I've obviously been there twice, so yeah, fantastic.
Great, great. So I go back to Nafis on this case. Nafis, what do you take actually on how we played in the last four league match and one Carabao Cup match? I mean, what is your take? Why do you see we still need much improvement?
Yeah, regarding regarding the Carabao Cup, I'm a bit disappointed. How we started and how the match goes on, and we are already going drifting away from our tempo was down or everything was down. But I was very much confident in the first half or within the first 15-20 minutes of the second half, we should have 2-0 up. So regarding the Carabao Cup, I am disappointed that we so late we conceded that goal. And regarding overall the first three games, I won't say we are disappointed or something. Yeah, West Brom game was a shocker, but I won't say overall disappointed because this team is very new. We don't have any preseason, so just one match. So and maximum players are very much new to the scene. So everyone is gelling around, and there are two, three injury problems also. So overall, if you think and overall stuff, so I think it's okay. Overall, I think the overall situation of Chelsea, it will go on. Pulisic might feature again after the international break or something like that. Hakim Ziyech will come. So I think hopefully we will. And our and regarding the Mendy situation, after coming Mendy, the defense and our defenders will get much courage regarding that. So hopefully we will get acquainted with the overall situation, and our defense and everything will be good, and we won't concede much goals now. That will be, I think, the main plus point of overall things, that we will concede less, so we will need to score less goals. But still, we can win matches.
Yeah. Okay, great. John, there are some question we'll take from our fans by the process of the show. So I just got few. I just like you to answer this one. This is very interesting one. How do you rate Rudiger's careers at Chelsea? There are rumor he'll be leaving for Spurs on loan. Do you see him going to loan to, especially to Spurs?
Yeah, there is rumours on Twitter. There's quite a few sources saying that there's discussions since Tuesday, I think it is, but I think it'll be a mistake to strengthen a rival. Whilst I think that Rudiger, he's had a decent career at Chelsea. I think last year he was okay with Luiz, but this year I just don't see him getting into the squad. So if he does go out on loan or is to be sold, I'd prefer it not to be in the Premier League. Yes, as I say, there are rumours with Spurs, but yeah, I think it's time for him to leave now. We've got Silva, for the next year or two. We've got Zuma, Tomori, Christensen as well. So yeah, I think it's time for Rudiger to go, and if we can find him a suitable loan, I think that's what we need to do. Waiting for our host connection. Connection. I am reading through the comments though, so keep them coming in because there are quite a few on Werner.
Exactly. Probably we lost our host.
I've hosted a few things before. It's not great when the connections go, because when you've got 4 people and you've got 4 different connections, it's not easy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Today's, I guess, there is a problem regarding the so and just
Anyway, Jonathan, from the comment box, one thing I want to ask you that one of our member actually made a comment that can Werner become the top scorer in the league, or can he stay in the top 3? What do you think?
Yeah, that's been. Yeah, I'm looking through that comment now, and there's another one earlier. I think earlier on as well. I think Werner can become the top goal scorer, but Chelsea, and especially Lampard's got to play him in a position where he can score goals. He's been playing on the left, he's been playing on the right, he's been playing behind a striker. I think we have to put Werner in a position where he can score goals. As you saw with the Spurs game, the ball came into him, he took a touch and he buried it into the bottom corner. Werner is our best striker, the guy that's going to score the most goals. So Lampard's got to put him in a position to score. And if he does, and he plays enough games, doesn't get any injuries, 100% he can be our top scorer and the top goal scorer in the Premier League. So yeah, I'm really excited for what Werner can do this season, to be honest.
Yeah, but historically, what I see, what we have seen that for Chelsea, for a striker, it is very rare case that our striker in the top scorer of the Premier League. We have seen very few, I guess, for Didier Drogba once, then once maybe Diego Costa.
Only Drogba.
Very few.
Once.
Yeah, very few.
Nicholas Anelka as well. I think we've had 3 since Nicholas Anelka got 1, Drogba 1, and Costa 1. But yeah, we've had a lot of bad luck with strikers, and I think Werner's going to be the one that kind of breaks that. But yeah, I think he just needs, now he's got 1. I think he can score against Palace 1 or 2 at the weekend. We just need to get him in the right position for him to score goals.
Exactly.
Exactly. I think he was not playing in the right position because that is maybe the big concern. I think linking up with him with Ziyech and Havertz is very important for us because nobody is actually seeing his run. I see in the last match, in the West Brom match as well, even on the Spurs match, I see that his run was not picked up by the midfielders. I mean, he was running in the channel, but the midfielders are not picking up his runs because Werner is all about his running in the channels in the defenders. His movement is very important for his goal scoring ability.
Yeah, spot on. I completely agree.
Yeah, I think the inclusion of Pulisic, it will increase because Pulisic stays on the byline and give the crosses and through balls, and Werner can. Also Pulisic is very fast. He can run around and give the pass to Werner. So he can. This Pulisic inclusion will be very important for Werner to score goals or to more link up with our midfielders and wingers.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few questions on Hudson-Odoi as well, I think, on there.
Yeah. Hudson-Odoi as well. I mean, do you see actually him leaving? This will be a very crazy situation. I mean, we don't have that much white player, John. I mean, do you really see him going, or this is another maybe the Christian Falk getting it wrong? on the Twitter?
So late in the day, we've got Pulisic and Ziyech out.
Yeah.
We don't have any other winger. It would be crazy for Chelsea to let Hudson-Odoi go.
Yeah.
And to be honest, again, that's another one that there's loads of rumours of. Can't see it happening. From the people I've talked to, nah, it's not going to happen. If it does somehow go to Bayern Munich or anywhere else, Chelsea have got someone waiting in the wings that we have no idea about because. Yeah, this one's too late in the day. He's still got a future at Chelsea, in my opinion. So.
I had a crazy. I guess Lampard said in an interview or something like that. He said he might integrate Victor Moses to our Chelsea squad. He currently not in our bubble, but like the overall with the main team, but he might integrate or something like that. It is a crazy thing to think, but maybe if we give loan or something like that to Hudson-Odoi, maybe Victor Moses, if we don't find, we won't buy anyone, Victor Moses might be our backup winger. But it is, I think, crazy. Because Cho is a very good guy and very important guy for us, and if someone is injured like Kai Mount, Hakim or Pulisic, so he can easily be with our first choice winger on left, on right. He can play on both wings. So letting him go to Bayern Munich will be in my opinion, suicidal for us in the long run, because there are short turnover and lots of games upcoming. So everyone will have a part in this team.
And much interesting of it. This season is mostly, as John also know, and I saw you already put this matter on your blog. That is you are doing on Twitter. I saw you discussed on it. This is a very short season. Short season means that this season starts very late and it has a lot of match in the midweek as well. I think that it is good that blessing in disguise. Maybe we are gone out of Carabao Cup. We can avoid one extra fixture. In the midweek. But how you think?
You got cut. Adnan Bhai, can you repeat the question again?
The connection went a little bit there. I heard the start of the question, but not the end of it.
Yeah.
I think he's probably going to ask about how many games we've got. I saw the question on Ziyech.
Sorry that I was got cut. Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah.
Now we can.
Okay, sorry. I just got some call. That's why. Sorry, I was just asking. We are playing so many matches this season. Already, we are managing our injuries of Ziyech and Pulisic. Pulisic have a tendency to get injured season frequently. So even if we left, if we permit to Hudson-Odoi loan, then who is going to play in the wing? And without wide player, I don't think Frank Lampard formation doesn't work that much. What do you say on this, Jonathan?
Yeah, I think we have to have wingers on the pitch in order to stretch the play. A big thing that was a problem against West Brom is we had so many players centrally. You got Abraham and Giroud that were playing up top. You had Werner that was in. You had Mount. You had Havertz. Hudson-Odoi was the only one wide. And you've got to stretch the play. West Brom are a team that had 5 at the back. They then have their midfield and they sit in and they're very condensed. If you can push the play out wide and then get balls into the box, which we didn't do enough of, that's how we can create chances and we can score goals. But the problem with obviously what we did, too narrow. They can easily get in line. They don't have to move too much. They can just move very slightly in the penalty box. If the left back or the right back has to come out to meet cross or meet a winger, it then stretches the play. It then leaves play in the middle of the park. So, yeah, we have to play wingers. When Pulisic and Ziyech are back and with Hudson-Odoi, we've got to play wingers that can hug the touchline. They can come in occasionally, but they've got to stretch the play in order to move the play from side to side and switch the play and just give us a bit more tempo. It's one thing that really frustrated me against West Brom and even against Spurs at times, we just didn't utilise the wings enough. And then Werner doesn't get in the game because he then doesn't get any space. He wants to, as you said earlier, run off and make space with his movement. So, yeah, it's it's a really difficult one. We need Pulisic and Ziyech back as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Bapon, I just want to get back to you on the same point. How we are gonna rotate if we leave now Hudson they go and we don't have that much time to make another signing. I don't think I can't see Chelsea linked with another white player this time, and I can't see even this happening as well. But as yeah, Bapon saying that Moses is another option, but he's hardly featured for Lampard even on friendlies as well. So
Exactly.
also that this also matters that we are already let go Willian as well. So we already short in the wing. We have three wingers basically: Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi, and Ziyech. And if we consider Mason Mount as a winger, then we have four.
So
How you think actually this is going to happen? I mean, we are going to play three competition: Champions League, FA Cup, and the Premier League. So this will be very difficult for Chelsea. Even Frank Lampard man management will be under a lot of scrutiny on this one.
actually, first of all, that I was surprised to see that media is claiming, suggesting that Lampard may send Hudson-Odoi in to loan to some of the clubs. Actually, I was surprised because we have very little option in the wide and the wing. Actually, naturally wing player. So basically, actually, Hudson-Odoi started didn't start any game in this season yet, but he came up from the bench, and actually he
Right.
did a very good. Also, he had a very good cameo against West Brom, which he came back
West Brom,
actually
right.
from 3-0 down. So basically, I'm not in the favor of the. I mean, I'm not supporting the decision if Chelsea decides to let go Hudson-Odoi. But one thing I can see that in terms of buying, Chelsea had a very good transfer window this year, this season actually. I mean, this window. But in terms of selling, we are still struggling. But there has to be a balance, that buying and selling. Otherwise, maybe in January or maybe in next season, we'll be actually we'll have nothing actually to spend. So there has to be any balance. So basically, maybe Chelsea wants to gain some, that money through Hudson-Odoi. Maybe they are planning. In that case, maybe.
Okay.
Basically, if we send Hudson-Odoi on loan, basically by the time of the window, we will not get enough time to get another quality winger by this, the 3 days or 2 days. So if Moses come, definitely he's not in the starting lineup. He will be just a backup, or he will have a special place in the bench, maybe. So Pulisic will struggle. Pulisic will get injured because he's actually, I mean, he'll not play in the whole season. That's for sure. Then
Right. Right.
Lampard will to rotate, that Mount or Havertz or even Werner on the left side. So he will again experiments will come. So this will, I
Right.
mean, the total situation will be jeopardized, I guess.
I see.
Exactly.
John, I want to question regarding the yes. There's a question. The same question I want to ask. One of our fans asked that should Havertz play as a permanent center attacking midfielder after Pulisic, Werner, and Ziyech starts in the front? Do you see him as a number 10, or do you see him getting rotated all over the season?
He's someone that I've advocated for a long time on Twitter and YouTube,
Yeah.
talking about how good he is in all the areas of the pitch. He can play left, right wing. He can play up top. He can play false nine. He can play cam, attacking eight. He can play 5, 6 positions. But as you
Right.
said in the question, and as you've alluded to, I think that the central attacking mid role is probably one of his better ones. I'd like to see him there as much as possible once Pulisic and Ziyech are fit, and you've got Werner that possibly plays up front on his own. So, yeah, Havertz
Right.
in the middle of the park where he can get into pockets of space, where he can get in shooting positions where he can affect the play. That's why I want our dangerous players to be in positions that they excel in. Werner, Pulisic, Ziyech, and Havertz. That front four is going to strike fear into everyone's heart. So yeah, I think Havertz as a number 10 or as a cam is definitely something I want Lampard to do and to put him in that position as much as possible, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, another thing, Jonathan and Nafis, and same. I'm going to ask the same to you. Uh, Someone needs to shoot from the midfield. I mean, he can, in the West Brom match, he was in some great position. He was playing in the main focal point. He was passing to Kalam and he was passing to Giroud and Tammy as well. So he wasn't there. But do you see our do you see our number 10 or maybe our midfielder need to strike from the mid ground from the midfield and go to the box and score some goals, because goal from the midfielder was not coming in the last season. I mean the center midfield area. So Havertz was brought for this same situation because he also loves to score goals. So do you see Havertz also in the attacking area, going to frequently the attacking area and scoring goals, John?
Yeah, I hope so. As you say, that's what he's been bought for. He's been bought to assist, but also to score goals. Scored plenty of goals for Leverkusen over the last couple of years. But yeah, it's a problem that we've had last season and it's coming to this year. We just don't shoot enough.
Yeah.
Mason Mount got the ball against West Brom, turned quickly, shot, we score. Sometimes if you shoot early and you don't let the defenders and the
Yeah.
goalkeeper settle, it means you
Right.
can, you get a shot off on goal, it could be a goal. And even if you don't shoot, like Mount did in the last goal for Abraham for the West Brom 3-all, you shoot, it deflects, and we put it in. So just because, just because, you shoot and you hit it miles over, it's not a big problem. That's going to happen. Mount, James, I've seen loads of it this season and last where, we have a pop and it's almost they're worried to take a shot on it not going on target. I think Lampard especially has to say to them, when you get in a position, take a touch, shoot. Werner did it against Spurs. Take a shot, shoot, and you score. So if you get a shot off the way early, it does help. And I think it's definitely something Lampard needs to say to his players. You've got to shoot more. You've got to shoot earlier and get in positions where you can strike the ball. Because, as I say, you can shoot. If it's on target, the goalkeeper might parry it and then, someone can rebound it in. So, yeah, it's definitely something we need to work on, getting more shots on target, 100%.
Perfect. Nafis, same question to you as well. Do you see Havertz going to run more and he need to shoot from the outside of the box or inside of the box? I mean, he's playing. He's also love to score a lot of goals. He scored for the Bayer Leverkusen for the same. So do
Yeah,
you
I
see
think
him?
yeah. You continue.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, please continue. Yeah.
I think the sorry, the main essence of Havertz is the late run in the box. That is his trademark. With playing with Hakim Ziyech and Pulisic will help that, because both are wonderful crosser. Hakim Ziyech and Pulisic can make that run from the byline, so he can give space for the Kai to move in the box and get the ball in a favorable position. So when we have two proper winger who can run on the byline, so what can happen, it will drag that wing, left wing and right wing to them, so that it will open the channel for them. So Kai can
Right.
move around in one side of the box, Werner can go the other side of the box. So defenders or say CDMs can have a panic or something like that, whom to mark, whom not to mark. So like when there is 2v2, like two defender with Kai Havertz and Timo Werner, there is a very good
Right.
chance that both of them can shoot and score, or they can pass to that, they can return pass to Pulisic and then shoot. So having two proper winger who can run around the byline will help Kai Havertz tremendously. He can give his late runs to the box, which is his trademark.
Right. Right. Uh, uh, Moving to the next topics in this one, and I like to Jonathan enlighten us if this is going to happen or not. Uh, this is about the Declan Rice. What about Declan Rice? Is this happening, John? I also want to know.
It's going to be difficult. There's only 3 days left of the transfer window. It sounds like Rice wants to come. It sounds like Chelsea have had discussions, but as much as I really want him to come, because I think we need another defensive midfielder to play with Kante to just protect the defence a little bit more and allow us to attack better. If you had to press me for an answer and say, is it going to happen in this transfer window? I'd probably say no right now. I'd love him to, and I think it's a player that Lampard really wants, but I'm not sure it's going to happen in this transfer window. It's just a bit too late in the day. We've got a lot of other fantastic transfers, so I don't think we can be too upset the way it's kind of gone so far. So yeah, if I was pressed, I'd say no, unfortunately.
I see. So the center midfield area, who is going to be our options? I mean, we have Kovacic, Jorginho, and we have Kante. So, do you see Ruben Loftus-Cheek staying, or he's also going on loan, John?
Yeah, good question. I think obviously Barkley, that was a bit of a surprise. I mean, we knew he was going to be linked with a loan, but that happened very quickly. I think Loftus-Cheek is on the periphery, hasn't been in the last few squads. He needs to go somewhere and play games because he's got no fitness. He's had a really bad injury. If he's not going to play at Chelsea under Frank Lampard, I think it would be smart to get him a loan. But yeah, I'd like him to stay for squad depth. But I understand that for his injury and for his fitness and for his career, he does need to go elsewhere. But yeah, we've got Kovacic, we've got Jorginho, we've got Kante, but we've also got Billy Gilmore coming back from injury. I think in 6 to 8 weeks, I'd say that he might be in and around the squad. So he's another player that can play in that position. And we do seem to play with one, maximum two of the kind of central midfielders in a pivot or defensive-minded kind of midfield. So I think we've got enough with Gilmore coming back in. And Loftus-Cheek can play in several roles as well. But yeah, at the moment, yeah, I think there's a good question. That's a good comment there. Actually, our midfield lacks power. Yeah, that's true. Kante goes in and gets the ball. He presses, but he doesn't always hold his position. And obviously, he's not that tall. Jorginho's not that quick.
Right.
Kovacic is someone that can get the ball and dribble with it. But yeah, it's right. You almost, Declan Rice is a leader, someone that can break the play up. He's strong, and I think that's why he would really help. Just Rice is someone that gets the ball to the players that can hurt teams. And yeah, it's a really good comment actually about the headers and breaking the counter attacks as well. Because transitional, when the ball breaks quickly, we're not very good in midfield and defence. And to have someone to break it up next to Kante would be perfect.
Yeah, I mean that is the reason why the Declan Rice was mentioned so much time, because he has a physical presence in the midfield. He can win some aerial duels as well. So our three of the center midfielder, Jorginho, Kante, and Kovacic, all are that not much tall as well. So the physicality in the midfield is lacking in when we are playing match against like Sheffield United, West Ham. I mean the team who are much more physical in terms of that. So it is another struggling point for us. Hopefully we will hopefully make a solution on this, and maybe it need not this window, maybe the next window as well. So another question I just want to ask to John as well from my side, that how you see Frank Lampard as a man management till now, and also do you see he's under pressure this season going forward?
I think a lot of Chelsea fans are putting him under pressure. I think the board, there's a clear 3-year plan. We've invested heavily in the squad this year. I think we've got to be pragmatic to think that Liverpool and Man City are going to be very hard to chase down. We were 20-odd points behind them last season. As long as we see an improvement, if we can finish third, if we can improve, if we can win a knockout match in the Champions League, if we can try and get to the quarterfinals, if we can do the same as we did last year and get to the FA Cup final, you never know. But yeah, I think there needs to be a clear improvement in the sense of conceding less goals that we've alluded to, scoring more goals with the firepower that we now have, and not losing silly games. Last year we would have lost that West Brom game. We've ended up getting a point, so there is a bit of an improvement there. But yeah, in terms of the Liverpool game, we're nowhere near their quality and we weren't good enough. So there needs to be an improvement. I think there's a lot of pressure on Lampard from outside. I don't think it's from within. And yeah, his man management is going to be tested because there's a few of the decisions I've been questioning recently in terms of his personnel, in terms of the tactics. So we're heading in the right direction. We're building for the future, but Lampard's got to set us up in the correct manner. And then there's a question I'm just reading about the formation that we prefer the most. For me, all depends on the players that we have. If we buy Rice and we have two defensively minded midfielders in Kante and Rice that can sit, you can play 4-2-3-1. If you don't, I think you've got to play Conte and Kovacic together, and then you've got to be careful defensively. So, yeah, it all depends on the players that we have. 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. Sometimes we sort of play a 4-2-4 with the wingers wide. So, yeah, it's a season we need to improve. 100%.
The 4-2-4 formation was
Yeah.
crazy in the West Brom last 10 minutes. Everyone was attacking. There was, I guess, not a 4-2-4, I guess 3-4 or 3-3-4, something like that.
All three strikers were
Right.
was on the field.
Yeah, actually when Giroud came in, I was thinking, I was thought that Tammy was substituted, but then I found Tammy was in the
Tammy was
field,
there.
and it was crazy. Yes, it was crazy because nobody's playing the ball to Giroud as I mean holding player. They are just passing. I mean that last few minutes are crazy to some
It was
extent.
probably Silva he
And anyway,
substituted, right?
right, absolutely. It was right. Another thing, John, just want to manage that Chelsea's in the West Brom match. We see that Chelsea's conceding. And did you think that Chelsea take the game very lightly? I mean, that yes, that's the West Bromwich Albion. No disrespect to them, but I somehow feel that our players, maybe the managers as well. I mean, they take the game very lightly. That's why they caught. I mean, when they gone 1-0 down, then suddenly it's 2-0 down. I mean, they take a lot of pressure on this like that. What do you think?
I think that the players, they came out and, as you say, they're a little bit sloppy. There was three mistakes:
Right.
the Alonso header that leads to the first goal, the Silver slip, which you can't really do much about when you're a manager, and the third one again is
Right.
another mistake from Alonso. So I think we did take it a little bit lightly. I think every Premier League game, as we saw last season, you can drop points in. We got beaten at home by Bournemouth, Southampton, etc. So yeah, we've got to understand that whilst we have all this attacking power, there's only so much they can do. We can't concede 3 goals every game like we did against West Brom, because we're not always going to score 3 goals.
Right.
As much as we've got great attackers, sometimes teams like West Brom will have more fitness and more defensive nous that they won't concede the 3 goals that allow us to get a point. So we've got to be careful. We've got to cut out the individual mistakes, and bringing in Chilwell and Mendy will certainly help with that, because the left back and goalkeeper role have both brought us a lot of trouble. I mean, Silva, he's a great defender. That's just one that he's going to take on the chin. But I think we all know he's going to be a great player for Chelsea. So yeah, Lampard has to put his trust in players that he knows aren't going to make these silly mistakes. Because I've coached kids. It's very simple to mark your men, and when they don't, there's only so much you can do as a manager. So yeah, it's frustrating.
Absolutely. Coming to this question, Bapon, what's the formation do you prefer the most? I mean, yes, I mean, if you talk about Frank Lampard perspective, I think we all agree to that his favorite formation most probably 4-2-3-1. That's the formation maybe he's most like to use this season. So, do you see? We have personal for this sort of formation because Lampard brought Havertz, and we have Ziyech and Pulisic as well to play in the wing. So till we got our 4 player together. I mean, we have to wait to see this in how this goes actually. So what is the? Do you think if we play an alternative with our strength, what will be our alternative formation for this season as well?
Lampard actually, I guess he loves to play with 4-2-3-1. Actually, so far we have seen that he loves to play with 4-2-3-1, and actually he's trying to implement that formation with Chelsea for the last from the last season, and he's doing it. He also tried with other formation, but for as a backup, I guess we have enough player and to go with the 4-3-3. That traditional 4-3-3 we used to play with Jose Mourinho and then other coaches. And I guess right now we have play. Once we had that on the right side, I mean the Robin and on the other side we had Joko
Duff.
or even Damien Duff.
Duff,
So
yeah.
we once we had quality wing players. But this time I guess that Ziyech from the right side and Pulisic on the left side. And if Callum Hudson-Odoi stays, then we have option of the backup of Pulisic. Then maybe that I can see that the Ziyech roles I would love to see that cuts in the box like Arjen Robin. Robin used to do that. Robin is still he still does it. So that he takes the shot from the long range, which is missing. So maybe he will still go with the 4-2-3-1, but backup we have enough
Yeah.
option that we can go with the 4-3-3.
Perfect. John, do you see any different formation Lampard going to use? Because last season we see he tried few already. I mean, this season already we saw he used 4-2-2, some kind of or formation against Liverpool. So do you see any other formation that he's going to use mostly in terms of our strength in the squad?
Yeah, I think the 4-2-3-1, the 4-3-3 are going to be the two that he goes with more. But don't be surprised if he does occasionally play three at the back and go with Chilwell and James on the wings backs in order to kind of press the play up and have a bit more defensive stability. Maybe a game like Man City or Liverpool away, something like that, could possibly be done. It's not something that I favour because I think we need to have as many players as we can in the attacking areas. But I think the three at the back, we can't count that out because it could certainly happen, on the odd occasion. But yeah, Lampard just, in my opinion, it's nice to have all these formation variations. It's a bit like Football Manager and FIFA where you can just keep changing it whenever you want. But in reality, in men's football, it's very difficult to keep changing it. So I'd like him to just settle on one if he can.
I see. I see. Another, I'd like to take some question. We got some few question already. Sorry, this one I take. Tell me about Kante's positioning, playing players out of their natural position. I mean, yes. I mean, do you think, John? I mean, Kante was the not looking like the same player. I mean, is he not playing in his preferred position, or is he losing some form lately?
That's why I think it's important to buy someone like Rice, because if Rice is going to stay there and shield the defence, Kante can play next to him. But when Kante wants to go and chase the ball, wants to go and press the ball, wants to break up the play, he's able to do that. Right now, with Jorginho and Kovacic next to him, he's not really able to do that. So, the other day, he was the furthest man forward. Against Liverpool, he got to a position where, he could have, put a shot in. So I think as well, Lampard's got to say to him, get in his head and say, look, as much as you're great in certain aspects, right now, this is what the team needs. And the team needs Kante to break up the play and move it on to the players that can affect the game. So, yeah, I think we need to utilise his skills, but to the team's advantage.
Nafis, do you want to say something on the same question about Kante's position? I mean,
regarding Kante, it's like it's a. I'm a bit also a puzzle regarding, because Kante is a ball winner. He can break defenses. He can do this type of dirty work, but he is not a good passer. Like he can start the attack. Like he break a pass, he give the ball sideways or something like that. He gives the pass sometimes forward, but not always. It goes to the intended thing. So but he's an excellent ball winner. He can move with the ball. He can dribble one or two player, and he can run with the ball and go to the D box or on the byline. So on the wing, he can do that also. But regarding sometimes what he can do in dangerous area, sometimes Kante loses the ball, but he mispasses to the player. That is very tough. So I think we need one anchorman like Rice, who can sit on the defense, or Kante, who can we can currently in our setup we can't give Kante a single goal. So in some matches he's playing with Jorginho. Jorginho is doing the passing and everything. He is just sitting, and he's just sitting and breaking the play. In some matches with Kovacic or some Ruben Loftus-Cheek or someone, they are sitting behind, and Kante is chasing the ball. Kante is breaking up the play and doing things. I think the role of Kante is not defined still, because due to the personal or something like that. If we can define that this is Kante's role, and Kante will be doing this, I think Kante will be very good at that, because Kante is one of the few players. He's like he's the throughout the year. He's our world class player, very high quality, and one of the best DM or CDM or whatever you can say, or one of the ball playing midfielder, ball winning.
I see. Okay. Uh,
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 Actually, Adnan
John,
bhai,
yeah,
this is I
yes,
want
John.
to add something. I want
Yeah,
actually,
please
I
go
want
ahead.
to add something with Jonathan and Nafis that when Chelsea is in nil-nil or even leading 1-0 by 2-0, we see different Kante. But when
Right,
someone making the mistakes and suddenly we go down by 1-0 or two down,
right, right,
then we
right.
expect our midfielders, that Kante and Jorginho or even Kovacic, to do
To be
something
the
and
provider.
lead the attack so that we can come back. We can come back, and this is where our, I mean, the attributes are limited of Kante and Jorginho. So basically, this
Yes.
is where we are actually thinking about the Rice. Rice will be the very great addition so that he can move the ball to the forward. I mean, win the ball from the aerial and move the ball to forward. Then we have a very
Right.
good front line now. We have four, I mean, the four players who is very world class right now: Ziyech, Pulisic, Werner, and Havertz. So that this is where actually we need Rice.
Absolutely. John, another question that is a lot of people asking in our particular community, that is, what is Mason Mount uh, main position in squad? Is he a winger? Is he a number 10? Or is he a center midfielder?
For me, I think he's one of the attacking eights. So somewhat, let's say we were to play 4-3-3, Kante's
Yeah,
kind of the fulcrum, and then you've got Mount and someone else the other side. I think
right.
Mount's good at coming into the box late. Not the same as Frank Lampard. He's not going to score as many goals yet, but in the sense that he can break into the box late. He's able to move position a little bit more. When he's out on the wing, he's more defensive. He can't affect the play as much. He needs to be a bit more central. Out on the wing, he can do a job, and in other positions, he can do a job. But as an attacking eight, or as someone like a Cam, a number 10, he's much better. And to be honest, I don't enjoy watching him on the wing because he's limited in that aspect. He's got a little bit of pace, but not much. He can bring other players into play, but him arriving late on the box or him getting the ball and being able to shoot when he wants to, having a bit more space to operate, that's where he excels. And Lampard, he seems to love him. He plays in most games. He plays in, all over the pitch, and he gets a lot of
Right.
critics for that, Lampard
Right.
and Mason Mount. But when you're versatile, someone like Havertz as well, you are going to play in different positions because the manager knows that they can count on you. And it helps the team a lot with Mount playing in various positions. But to get the best out of him, to get the most goals and assists and chances created, etc., he needs to play in positions that he's good in. And I think that the number 8 role is one of his best ones.
Great. Do you think Lampard is actually overusing Mason Mount? I mean, he's not getting that much rest. There is a risk of people saying that he might get burned out before half of the season because he's playing week in, week out, playing 60 minute, 90 minute, almost most of the games he played close to 90 minutes. So, is there a chance to get burned out? I mean, yes, he's a young man; he can run for miles, but I think you also need to give him some rest to make him fresh again for the next match.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, the pass that he missed to Werner against Tottenham when we were 1-0 up, that was a tired pass where he
Yeah,
gave it straight to Dyer.
right. Yeah,
The penalty, I get what he was trying to do. He's always, pretty accurate and he's trying to put it in the back of the net. But
right.
yeah, it's difficult. I think he's tired. And the problem with his versatility is it means Lampard's going to play him a lot. So Lampard definitely needs to rest him. If he rested him against Palace, I wouldn't be annoyed at all. Because, he does need a break. He's going to go off international break. Or international duty now. So it's something that Lampard needs to look at definitely and allow other players to play because getting Loftus Cheek or someone else some minutes would have been good.
I give you bad news.
Maybe.
I give you no bad news. Bad news is Mason Mount is playing tomorrow again.
It
Because
wouldn't
if
surprise
Arsenal
me.
if Arsenal has to go to Bayern Munich, then he'll not playing tomorrow. If that's the news, then Mason Mount going to play again.
Regarding measurement, I think what is Frank Lampard is said. Listen, I signed 3 players, and last season I had one police is our stand up guy. There are 4 people, 2 3 are not currently match fit or injured. So when they might start there will be maybe. You will get less minutes. So start now. Try to play every game, play every minute, and try to cement your place. So that is the only I think the logical thing. He is playing non-stop. He technically plays non-stop, and he is not complaining or something. Give me rest or something like that. Because he also knows it, because his spot is actually on border, like his first team spot. Like there was some questions or rumors going around what will be happen Mount when we sign Hakim Ziyech and Kai Havertz, because these are the two position
Right,
Mason Mount
right,
always
right,
plays in the right wing or
right,
the
right.
central attacking. So I think this is his chance, because he's played the most minute by any of the Chelsea player in the season. We are bothering or thinking he might not get minutes, but he's topping the chart currently.
Yeah, absolutely. Bapan, you like to add something on the Mason Mount topic?
No. Mason Mount clearly we can say that Lampard's most favorite player in the in the squad. So actually, that I would like to add with Jonathan that I also love to see him in the central attacking midfielder role. Actually, he is very limited on the wing side. He loves to shoot. I guess he just need the side of the goalpost. I guess. So basically, this type of player actually needed. Lampard used to like shoot. He
Right,
has done
right.
this, I mean, throughout his career. Actually, he used to give us every season more than 10 goals in the Premier League. And sometimes even, I mean, overall, we count the season, he is actually he used to give us the 20 goal in the over season. So basically, Mount is also my favorite. So let's say, actually, I want to say that I don't want to see the Mount and Havertz together. This is actually, I mean, the midfield looks, I mean, the very crazy, I guess. So what we have seen that with West Brom, actually we are very actually on the center, not wide. So we have to go wide to create more attack. In this case, we have, if I know that if Pulisic comes and Ziyech on the right side comes, then maybe we'll go, then Mason Mount will get enough rest, I guess. If, I mean, Havertz I mean meets our expectation.
Okay, I see. John, in the last match in the Spurs, we see the number 10 role played by Mason Mount mostly. There's a lots of position that was not covered, because I see there are lots of screenshot came out after in the Twitter. I think you have also seen some of them, that the nobody is pressing the Spurs center backs. I mean, yes, we have striker, but in the striker and the center midfield area, nobody is in between them. I mean, Mason Mount was been there, but not anyone was chasing those Spurs center backs that mostly. And there are lots of position vacant in the Spurs area, which actually allowed them to came back in the match. So I mean, Havertz came to void those kind of position, and also I think when Pulisic came back, he will make those runs behind the winger and the defense. So do you see in the training players actually get well aware of where they need to play and where they need to make those runs? I mean, in the match we don't see them sometimes.
Yeah, I think during the game that when Lampard changes his tactics, and certainly throughout the game, the players, I just don't think they understand entirely because of the change. Like Mason Mount plays in so many different positions. We change the tactics so often in game. We change formations. The players do get a little bit confused. And the best teams in the world, you look at when you watch Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Man City, Real Madrid, etc. Over the years, they've always had players that will occupy pockets of space. They're always available for the ball. In the West Brom game, the Liverpool game, the Tottenham game, we've only got one man, sometimes two open. We need
Right.
to get players so you've got triangles, 2-3 players always available for the ball. And when you talk about pressing, first half we were in complete control of the game against Spurs. The second half they were just bypassing the press. So we might try, start to press them. Dyer and Sanchez would just put the ball over, get it out to Aurier and Reguilon, and kind of just get rid of all the central part of our play, which then got us straight, they've got them straight at our left and right back, which is why we were struggling, because Emerson and Azpilicueta with their backs to goal are not as good. So, yeah, it was a change of tactic that Tottenham had that we just couldn't cope with. And if we'd have pressed them a bit earlier, we'd got in their face a little bit more. If we'd have tracked the runs, it would have been a lot better. But it's a theme throughout this season and last season. We just don't get players or enough players in the right positions. So, yeah, look, there's a long place. There's a long season.
Right.
There's a long way to go for Lampard and the players. I'm not going to start judging them now and say, that it's not good enough. But Lampard does need to do quite a few things now
Right.
if we're going to improve.
Absolutely. Thank you, John. We are in very close to end of our show, so I just want to ask a few rapid questions to John, Bapon, and the Nafis as well. Do you see really Tomori moving this window? I mean, he was our only center backs that available outside the three we have. I mean, he's the fourth choice center back. If Rudiger has to go, do you see Tomori staying, or he also moving to some other clubs, John?
If Rudiger goes, Tomori stays. I think it's one of the two that goes. I really hope Tomori stays, and I really hope that Rudiger is the one that goes.
I see. I see. I can see some rumors now in the Twitter that even some of the good sources saying that the Napoli also want Rudiger on loan. Napoli and AC Milan. So I think it's much better to give them than rather to Spurs. I mean, Spurs already strengthened their team. So
Yeah, regarding Rudiger and Tomori, I think one will stay, one will go. So we are trying to, I guess, offload Rudiger to outside club, not Spurs, like Italian club. If we can't do that, I think we will loan Tomori to some Everton or this type of club.
absolutely. Bapon, I just want to ask, do you see uh, Werner picking up as number nine mostly rather than Tammy Abraham, because Werner is now playing out of position. He's playing on the wing. Yes, he played on the wing mostly in the Leipzig time, but he was brought in Chelsea to play the number nine role. So, do you see a Tammy or Werner playing the role mostly? Because in the Champions League, after the international break, the Champions League will start as well. So we have to rotate a lot of players in the position. So, do you see Werner getting his role back, or Tammy is still playing the number nine?
I mean, when Pulisic and Ziyech will play together, then
Yeah.
definitely Werner will get back his role. As we
Okay.
will have very too much fixture in the coming days, so basically,
Mhm.
I guess that the both will have enough game time. That won't be issue.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What, John? Do
Also,
you see?
I just add something
Yeah.
to
Sure. Sure.
today's press conference after for the newspaper zone. Yeah, Frank admitted that Kai and he due to injuries he is not playing on a lamp. Sorry, Kai and Timo to his the position. He said like I have the specific position in mind, but due to the injuries or the certain difficulties, I could not play in them with those positions. So like yeah, when we will get the full fit squad, they will Warner will play in the striker and Kai will play in the central attacking midfielder camp.
I see. John, this one is for you. One of our viewers' question: Mourinho managed the game better than Frankie, which is something he needs to learn going forward. And Mourinho reverts his philosophy in the said, no defensive strategy to contain Spurs.
Yeah, I can see that second half we just couldn't cope with them. We didn't change the play in order to affect it. We just coasted through, and I was always worried that we were going to concede a goal. Look, Mourinho's been around for a long time.
Right.
Lampard did him two, three times last season in terms of
Yeah.
beating him. He's never
He's very
beaten him
young.
as a
Very young.
manager. So Mourinho was always going to come back and get one over on him, and it was just the
Right.
other night.
Right.
Yeah, it just seemed to be the night. So yeah, Lampard does need to do better in game and before as well. Talk about defensive line. There's a lot. I can see one more comment as well. Yeah, I think. Well, he's talking about corners. Mendy helps with that. I mean, against Tottenham, the ball came in the box, and every single one he either gathered or punched away. There was only one where I think it slipped through his hands. But the fact that he's authoritative and he comes out, no one goes near the ball because they think he's going to come and get it. So instantly that helps. I think Silva will help. And there's one other question down at the bottom. Why aren't we going for Skriniar? I don't think we need Skriniar, to be fair. Yeah, we don't need him, Asif. I know Asif. Yeah, we don't need him. Good addition, don't get me wrong, but we've got Silva, we've got Zuma, we've got Tomori, we've got Christensen as a backup. So I don't think we've got the money as well. We've spent 200 million as well.
Exactly.
Yes, Abu Ibs Mumin. Yes, Declan Rice seems to be the missing puzzle in the center attacking. That's we already discussed discussed and we agreed that he give us a different dimension in the midfield. Is give us the physical side of the midfield. So that's it. I think, guys, we discussed and covered a lot of things today, and I like to again give a big thanks to John for giving us his valuable time for to his yes Bangladesh is his second home as well. I can say that. So John, do you can say something to our fans in Chelsea community in Bangladesh? It's a very big one. It's a growing one, and we are really proud to support our club. It's different that we don't able to see match in the Stamford Bridge. Maybe some of our fans already visited Stamford Bridge already. Some maybe due to COVID this year maybe not possible. But if you want to say something to our fans regarding the coming season, I mean this season, sorry, that what are we going to expect from Frank Lampard's side, and do you see the patience is the virtue here?
Yeah, we have to be patient. I think we can achieve big things. We've spent a lot of money. It's great to see that you've got the supporters club out there. Say, I've been to Bangladesh twice, really enjoy it. And next time I come to Bangladesh, maybe it's next year or 2022, I'm definitely going to come and say hi to you guys, because I know there are a lot of Chelsea fans. And when I was in Bangladesh, you're football crazy. It's either Messi or Ronaldo, Chelsea, United, teams like that. So I really enjoyed, coming out to see everyone. And as I say, when I come over, I will make sure that I come and see you guys. And yeah, just be patient. I think we will have a good season. I think it will, once we've got our players back from injury and we've got fitness, I think we'll be much better. And I think we will have a good season, and just trust the process and continue supporting, because look, you've all got your Chelsea tops on. I'm here in London. I don't have a Chelsea top on. So it just shows how passionate you guys are. Just because you don't go to the stadium. I've been very lucky to live near the stadium all my life. I've gone to a lot of matches, but it doesn't mean that I'm more of a fan than you guys. We're all supporters. We all watch our clubs. You watch games probably 2-3 in the morning, which I've never done. So look, I fully respect all you guys following Chelsea. It's great that you get involved like this, and just keep doing what you're doing, because it's great to see. So thanks as well for having me on. Yes, I have a Bangladeshi wife, but it's anything to do with Chelsea I can deal with. But I know some shouldn't, Bashir. I mean, I'll say Abni Kamana saying Balasana, Bad Hazna. So I hope you've all eaten rice. It's late enough.
That's Chittagonian, yeah, that's
But it's Chittagonian, exactly. So I can say like a few bits, but yeah, look, as I say, thanks for having me on, and hope everyone takes care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for
yes,
actually,
Jonathan.
No, Bapan, you can continue.
Actually, I would like to say that, Jonathan, thanks for joining with us, and it is really a pleasure for us to have you here. Actually, this is the show we try to do every week, so we would love to have you again in the show.
Thank you. No problem at all. Absolutely. More than happy to come on. No problem.
Thank you
so much, man.
Yeah, I would also thank you for coming. And when you come to Bangladesh, hopefully we will see a match day screening together in Chittagong and Dhaka whenever you are. We will arrange one for you.
Chittagong, Cox's Bazar, Dhaka. I'll be there. No problem.
Yeah, hopefully we will see you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you to our viewers for watching so late in the night. It's already close to 1 o'clock in here, and thank you, John, for giving your valuable time again once again. Bapon, thank you so much, and Nafis, thanks for joining us this night. Thank you, John. See you later, hopefully again in the show in the coming weeks after the international breaks.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Okay.